It's more than just opinions, it's facts.
This is WSIC News Talk Now. The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
Good morning and welcome to Heart Mooresville, your small town radio show with a big heart. I'm your host, Christine Patterson, and we have co-host Don Smyle this morning.
Hello, Mooresville.
And we have a great show lined up because we are sitting here with kind of a local celebrity, Mr. Jason Workman, who is our fire marshal. We call him Fire Marshal Woody. Good morning.
Good morning. How are y'all?
Thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely.
We're going to learn a little bit about Jason later and what he does and, how we are grateful for having him and provide his services to the town of Mooresville. Before we get started, though, how's everybody doing?
Yeah, it's great. It's, spring is springing. And, the weather up until today has been fantastic.
Yes.
For the first time on a weekend, it seemed like the weather cooperated and we got to enjoy a nice, beautiful weekend. I myself am kind of checked out. So if I'm seen that way, you'll understand why. I'm actually leaving for a 2-week European vacation tomorrow.
That's right. You're going to be a pirate.
A pirate?
You're going on a pirate ship.
Yeah, no, we're going to take a cruise over in Europe. So looking forward to that. But I could not leave without joining my co-host for one last time because you will be flying solo for the next 2 weeks. So I appreciate you.
Going to be so alone. So alone. All by myself. No, I'm joking. We'll have some fun. We'll have some fun.
Yeah,
we will miss you, though.
I'm scared.
You need to recruit some other ones from the office to come up and help.
Oh, yeah, we'll have some fun.
Well, the unfortunate part is every single person in our orbit, besides Christine and myself, has been asked and has said, rather respectively but forcefully, no.
Right.
No.
Nobody
I'm
likes
not. I'm
it.
not doing that.
They don't want to hang out.
I don't know why.
It's not that bad.
No, it's not like
I got one in my office that was scared to death. But we actually got him on the radio.
Yeah, I think once people come on, they understand it's not as bad as they think it is, right? It's just having a conversation. We just have a conversation, right?
That's right.
So what's going on? What I like to defer to you for the in the news segment because you have your finger on the pulse of everything that's happening in Mooresville.
That's right. Nothing happens without me knowing.
We should call you the Oracle.
Yes.
The
I see all.
The Mooresville Oracle.
That's me. I see all. I know
Sketchy.
all.
All right, Oracle, what is happening?
Well, we've actually had a lot going on in the last few weeks. The most exciting thing, the thing that I'm most excited about is Phase 1 got approved for Moore Park.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That's amazing. It
Yeah.
looks
you know about that?
amazing. Well, yeah, of course he would know about it.
Did you
Yeah.
know?
Actually, I'm not as familiar with the approval.
Oh, well, let me tell you all about
Well,
it.
go ahead.
Okay,
Excited
so
to hear.
commissioners actually have approved it. It happened last week. They approved $553,000, just over, for design and engineering work. So this is all part of a multi-million-dollar upgrade, but this is the first phase of the work. The Phase 1 will include construction for a new natural grass playing surface, restrooms, concessions, and a concrete concourse.
And the most exciting part?
Is that there's going to be a 20-foot tall fence in center field, and it's been compared to the Green Monster wall at Fenway Park. Now, obviously, it'll be a mini version because the wall at Fenway is like 37 feet, and this is only 20. But pretty cool.
I think it's very cool. When I first arrived here working for Mooresville Parks and Recreation, the assistant director, Darren, took me out on a tour of all the parks, and he took me by Moore Park. And the thing that I immediately was struck by was the wall, because they had an existing green wall out in the field.
Right.
And they were talking about, potential renovation of the park. And I said, that absolutely has to stay.
Right.
I mean, to me, that is like an iconic signature, part of baseball for Fenway, but certainly it immediately stuck out to me at that facility. Like, okay, you had to find a way to integrate this into the future. Yeah. And I'm so glad to hear that they've done that.
Yes, I know. It is really exciting. I mean, we'll have our own mini version of that here in Mooresville.
Well, it's about time that it gets an overhaul because it's much needed. There's been a lot more, especially with the Mooresville Spinners playing down there, bringing a lot more people into the downtown area, and it's kind of kind of nice to see that spruced up a little.
Yeah, and I think it's
Yeah.
interesting too because it's going to kind of extend the footprint of downtown. You've got Merino Mill right there, and they do a
Mhm.
lot of things, a lot of activations in the parking lot, the cars of events that they have there, and other things. And so, having more park now be a much larger part of that, I think it extends the downtown footprint.
Absolutely.
And so it's a nice thing to see, and the renderings looked amazing.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I do think it will change the feel of downtown and kind of make that seem more included. That other, I don't know if that was at the south end. I'm not sure.
It should be south end.
South end. I'm not good at that. But south end of downtown
Yeah, the
Mooresville.
only thing that I'll probably see on that whole ordeal is probably, the new concession. The
Right.
rest of it, I mean, I may see the rest of it once it goes through permitting, but as far as, anything that has to do with our office,
Yeah.
it'll be mainly the concession.
Okay. Well, I'm very glad concessions are part of it because obviously that is one of the aspects that need an upgrade. So this whole deal, as I mentioned, it's about a $5 million project. This is the first phase. The plans will actually hopefully result in this facility being suitable for NCAA baseball and summer wooden bat leagues. They're expected to be completed in time, the construction part, for January and be completed by the fall of 2025. And if commissioners provide funding for phase 2, it would include a grandstand for spectator seating and a field house. So we'll keep our
Nice.
fingers crossed.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen.
I do too.
I think once the momentum starts building for something like that, it's hard to stop it.
Yeah.
And
Once we get interest
yeah.
from teams, and yeah, I think so.
So one of the other things going on is kind of a staple, which is the Throttle Thursdays.
Yeah.
We need some rumbling, like
Vroom, vroom, vroom.
there we go.
I'll be
Like,
sound effects today.
You're going to be sound effects. All right. So Throttle Thursday revs up for 2024, and returning with larger Main Street midway. So Throttle Thursdays kind of have an expanded footprint this year. It's the third season for Throttle Thursdays on Main Street. It kicks off on April 11th, which is this week, 5 to 9 p.m. And it highlights motorcycles, automobiles, has food trucks, live music, vendor booths, and more. And it is presented by a downtown Main Street staple, the Murdo Made Distillery, and Foundation Moto, which is a North Mecklenburg-based producer of custom motorcycles. I did not know
Very
that.
cool. Yeah.
So this event represents the ongoing evolution of OTR events that originate in Cornelius and have found a new and growing home in Mooresville. And it typically brings out over 500 motorcycles and 200 cars. So quite a large crowd. They expect somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000 people.
Wow.
There's our sound
Ooh.
effects.
There's our motorcycles.
The
Yep.
man behind the curtain, Bill, brings the noise. We love it.
Like it. Well, that'll
So-
be exciting.
Yeah, so we will definitely have some more in the news features later in the show. But as mentioned, we have Fire Marshal Woody here with us, and we will be talking about many things fire related in the town of Mooresville when we come back here on Heart Mooresville. WSIC will be back after this message from our wonderful sponsors.
Stay in the know with all things Mooresville. Heart Mooresville continues next on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Well, the rest of our week is a bit unsettled in the weather department with a couple opportunities for rain. We'll see a partly cloudy to mostly cloudy sky as we work our way through our Tuesday. I would carry along the umbrella just in case. A scattered shower possible really at any point throughout the day, especially in the morning and through the better part of the afternoon. Temperatures are still relatively warm in the low 70s. We'll bring back another chance for scattered showers again by Wednesday. And that's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
The WSIC app is available now wherever you get your apps, featuring local deals from great local businesses like Nina's Boutique.
Here
here is your WSIC community calendar. This Friday, come enjoy Birkdale Village's weekly Live Under the Oaks concert series. Musician Joseph Gallo delivers catchy tunes, high vocals, and a driving rhythm to sing and dance along. Bring your lawn chairs and enjoy all Birkdale Village has to offer. Music powered by Waves Entertainment begins at 6 p.m. The Kane Center for the Arts presents music, singing, laughs, and dogs. Thursday, see singer and guitarist Joni Shaw Taylor performing. Doors open at 7 p.m. and the show begins at 8 p.m. Friday, 80s music icon John Oates is in concert. Doors open at 7 p.m. with the show beginning at 8 p.m. On Saturday, comedian Jeff Allen delivers laughs twice with shows at 4 p.m. and then again at 8 p.m. Saturday, April 20th, we'll see the Stunt Dog Experience come to Cornelius. This cast of performers and stunt dogs will delight audiences of all ages with high energy excitement from beginning to end. You will witness some of the most incredible stunts and behaviors ever performed by dogs. The experience has amazing tricks, big air stunts, frisbee dogs, athletic feats, and is the most entertaining show of its kind. For more information on these shows and many other programs, visit canearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Merle Fest is back April 25th through 28th at Wilkes Community College, featuring nearly 100 performers, including Old Crow Medicine Show, Sam Bush, Turnpike Troubadours, the Teskey Brothers, Nickel Creek, and more. Tickets and information at merlefest.org. Listen every morning to Good Morning LKN and follow WSIC News on Instagram for your chance to win tickets. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
Looking good, Mooresville. I mean, you're sitting at that traffic light too. Might as well be looking at something. I Heart Mooresville continues now on WSIC.
All right. Welcome back to I Heart Mooresville here on WSIC. I'm your host, Don Smyle, along with Christine Patterson, and our special guest, Fire Marshal Woody.
Yay.
Yeah, I imagine you guys can be a little bit busy on rainy days.
Believe it or not, it's not, as far as traffic wrecks, it's the sunny days.
Really?
Ooh.
Yes.
Why is that? Is there a reason?
It's so pretty, I guess. People get sidetracked looking around and not
Everybody's
really
out and about.
Yeah, when it's raining, people tend to pay a little bit more attention to what's going on.
Interesting.
So,
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought that. Well,
But not saying that they don't have.
Yeah.
You're right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, in 77, I mean, you could sprinkle on 77 and we're going to have a traffic jam, right?
Yeah,
So,
it don't take much.
Yeah, it don't
there.
take much. So one of the things I want to mention very quickly, because we always talk about days. There's days for everything, right? And in the month of April, no different. So we have some special days coming up this month. In fact, starting today. Today is National Library Workers Day. So going to give a big shout out to
Yeah.
Marion and her staff over at the Mooresville Public Library. Hello, Marion, if you're listening. We appreciate what you do. The 11th of this week is National Pet Day. So it's a great opportunity, if the weather is cooperating, to take your loved canine at this juncture to one of our 2 dog parks, which we have. So we're thankful for those, and it's a great opportunity to get them out, get a little exercise, and take them home, let them crash. 13th is International Plant Appreciation Day. I love that. So it's a great opportunity to get out to one of our parks and just kind of hang out. There's a lot of flora and fauna. Fauna and flora.
Fauna. Yeah.
Yes. Fauna in our parks. It's a great opportunity to get your kids out and see something cool. And then on the 14th is National Gardening Day. Kind of a segue there. And then National Look Up in the Sky Day.
Well, we did that yesterday.
Yes, you are right. We had, I don't know, something big happened yesterday.
Little big, a little
Yeah.
important.
Little important, the eclipse. I was in the doctor's office, so literally I didn't see a thing. I missed it. Although I don't think it really did much here.
It was kind of cool. We took the glasses out. We were actually
Okay.
in the middle of a meeting and wandered outside at the peak at about 3:05, 3:10, and we got to see it and look through. It was pretty cool watching the end of it kind of disappear and then
Right.
come back.
So I'm curious, Fire Marshal Woody, if there are any interesting things that happened yesterday in your world that are somewhat eclipse based?
No.
Okay.
It's usually full moon based.
Oh, is that what it is?
Hey, the old saying about the full moon, I'm telling you.
All
You'd think
right.
an eclipse would be extra crazy.
Yeah, you would think, but nothing out of the ordinary really happened.
Right.
Knock on wood.
So, of the full moon experiences, you have one that you can share? Maybe some crazy things that have happened on the full moon.
Well, that's typically when the calls get ramped up. We call it a full moon. You can always tell. It's usually the call volumes are higher peaks, and there is some. I remember reading an article one time that the full moon does have a certain psychological effect on people. Um, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychologist or anything like that, but there's a lot of merit to it. It
Yeah.
seems.
No, there's got to be something there because it's ERs, it's police, it's fire.
Yeah.
It's all of they all say the same thing. And when it's a full moon, the calls get crazy.
Yeah, and it can go. A lot of the calls are routine type calls, routine emergency calls, but that's when usually the crazier calls come out that, the ones you kind of see on cops on TV.
Okay.
Television
or
worthy.
Night Watch or something like that. That's
So
typically
I'm
what
curious because you see on television, you see shows on fire rescue, and I'm more interested in the inner workings. So my next door neighbor, I live in Harrisburg, and he was in the fire department pretty much his whole life and retired from there. Um, but I'm curious about what a day in the life of a firefighter looks like now in terms of shift. And how many calls, and they kind of just walk us through what that looks like, because I don't think the
Well, I can-
community really understands or appreciates it.
Well, I can tell you, I've been at Mooresville now. I'm homegrown, native.
Oh,
Alright.
congrats.
Yeah, so I'm one of a few. We still have a few on the fire department that's native to Mooresville. But when I was hired a little over 22, 23 years ago, somewhere around in there, we just opened up Station 2 in '98, and so there was only two stations, Station 1, Station 2, and we only ran 450 calls a year, and that was fire only, fire
Wow.
calls only.
Wow. Big change.
And then last year we almost hit 10,000 with
Wow.
6 stations, 7 or 2 ladder trucks, and a squad.
10,000.
10,000.
Wow. And I assume that runs the gamut between medical emergencies and
Yeah,
fires
and that's the
and
biggest change
accidents.
because, about 70% of our calls are medical related calls. Somebody was smart enough years ago to figure out, hey, if these guys run medical calls, because they're going to get there a lot sooner than EMS,
Yes,
because
they
the
do.
way EMS was spaced out years ago
Mm.
and the heavy call volumes that they get. And it started making a difference in people's lives, started saving
Yeah.
a lot more lives, and it showed it was really worth it. But on a typical day for a fireman, 20 years ago, I'd come in, eat breakfast, and we'd chill all day. Well, you can't
little
do
bit
that no
different
more.
now.
It is a little bit different now because now we actually, with the call volume and the seriousness of a lot of the calls with the growth and stuff, stuff that I wasn't accustomed to seeing back when I first started is routine now.
Yeah.
So when the guys come in, they immediately have to check the trucks, make sure everything's in working condition, all the tools and
Keep them
equipment
nice and clean and shiny.
Yep. ready to go. Make sure everything's functioning properly, and then most stations hit the gym. They're at the gym. Hour, 2 hours every day, working out, make sure that they're staying in shape, in case they have to come and rescue somebody.
Yeah.
And in some of those situations, you really need to be in shape and to make those things happen. So after that, they'll come back, clean up, get ready for lunch, and then the training starts. Every day's training
Wow.
every day. They'll typically, some days they're training in the mornings, go to gym later. Just depends on the training schedule. But most of the shifts are doing at least 2 to 3 hours of training every day on some topic.
Well, it's interesting you
Hmm.
say that because I mentioned I live in Harrisburg, and I saw that just this past week, I think, or recently, um, Mooresville Fire and Rescue and Harrisburg
Hmm.
had a joint training
Yep.
exercise on swiftwater rescue.
Yep.
Tell us
That,
about that.
so last week, a lot of not just Harrisburg, there was other agencies involved, but they're doing some water rescue training with emergency boat operations, victim removal from the water, and especially with the floods and everything.
Sure.
A lot of our teams, including Harrisburg and surrounding departments, Monroe, Charlotte, Hickory, and even other ones up north and west or east of us here tend to be deployed
Hmm.
to other areas because they don't want to deplete all the resources locally if they're having an event there. So they try to bring in outside people to help um, be able to handle the call volumes as far as any kind of people trapped, um, vehicles flooded, washed down the road. There's a lot that goes into it.
So some interdepartment agency
Mhm.
cooperation.
Yep.
That's great.
And we're on a response team. A lot of the departments, including Harrisburg, Salisbury, Charlotte, Monroe, a lot of your departments are on at least at a state local response team. So they can go anywhere in North Carolina. And we do got several individuals that are on some national teams that we end up sending to Katrina.
Really.
um, we sent several crews to Katrina in '05 down there for a month, 2 months at a time. So,
Wow.
So how long? What's the average day in hours for a
so,
firefighter now? What's the
so,
shift schedules?
so right now our current shift is we come in at 7:30 in the morning and they get off at 7:30 the next morning. So for a lot of listeners, if you don't know, we do sometimes get to sleep if the alarm doesn't go off.
I was going to say the sleep
Um,
schedule must be.
but I'm gonna tell you,
Mm.
it's like clockwork too.
Soon as you fall asleep.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it depends on the station you're at because obviously, the geographical area is going to determine if you're going to have busy nights. Like Station 1 and Station 2, you better rest while you can because most of their nights they're up all night,
Wow.
running to
Yeah.
nursing homes, running medical calls, fire alarms, wrecks, and plus, they run with other county departments too on their calls. So it can get rather busy. I've been on the receiving end of that sleepless nights many of times. So
Yeah. So how long have you been a firefighter?
this year, March 1st of this year, put me at 26 years.
Wow. Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so
congratulations and
much
thank
So
you.
I'm on the downhill side.
So-
This is young man's ball game now.
so you've been doing this for 26 years. And when did you become a fire marshal?
So I became a fire marshal. I'm going to embarrass myself. Probably a couple years ago.
And what
I've been
made
so
you
busy.
want to do that?
Well, actually, that's what I wanted to start or wanted to do from the first day.
Really?
Yeah, so I started working toward that on day one, and I got hired in '02, and January of '03, I started working on my college stuff.
Wow. Okay. Well, I want to talk to you more about that. And I want to talk about what a fire marshal exactly does for the people that may not know. So
All
we're
right.
going to take a quick break and we're going to be right back with Heart Mooresville after a break from our sponsors.
We'll be right back with more Heart Mooresville on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Well, the rest of our week is a bit unsettled in the weather department with a couple opportunities for rain. We'll see a partly cloudy to mostly cloudy sky as we work our way through our Tuesday. I would carry along the umbrella just in case. A scattered shower possible really at any point throughout the day, especially in the morning and through the better part of the afternoon. Temperatures are still relatively warm in the low 70s. We'll bring back another chance for scattered showers again by Wednesday. And that's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
happening now at Randy Marion Ford Chevrolet in Statesville.
You know Randy Marion is always the place to buy your new or pre-owned car, truck, or SUV, but how about Randy Marion wants to buy your car? If you have an extra vehicle sitting in your driveway today, come bring them to Randy Marion Chevrolet stores in Statesville. We want to buy it. We will give you top dollar, give you what you're looking for, and get rid of that extra car in the driveway. Come see us today, Randy Marion Chevrolet in Statesville and Randy Marion Ford Lincoln.
Right now, Sharp's Lawn Equipment is offering 0% financing up to $800 rebates and Toro Time Cutter mowers as low as $29.99. Visit Sharp's Lawn Equipment in Statesville or visit us at sharpslawn.com.
The Statesville Family YMCA reminds you that older adults and those with chronic health conditions don't need to feel they must accept impaired balance and limited mobility. Build strength, improve balance, and gain confidence in your mobility through the Moving for Better Balance program. For questions and additional information, email C. Mullins at ymcanwnc.org.
We used to argue about whose turn it was to clean the gutters, but then I had Leaf Filter gutter protection installed.
Wait, I told you Leaf Filter had free inspections and estimates and a lifetime guarantee.
Meaning we never have to argue about whose turn it is to clean the gutters again.
But I visited leaffilter.com/beacon first.
No, I did.
It doesn't matter who. Visit leaffilter.com/beacon to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
I feel occasional burning and stabbing in my hands as I age.
I sometimes feel numbness and tingling in my feet as I get older.
It's starting to get in the way of doing what I love.
At Nervive, we hear you and we can help. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use.
Now that I know, I'm taking control.
Try Nervive Nerve Relief and say yes to healthy nerves. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. After spending 6 months in pit row, GM's self-driving car ambitions are going to hit the road again. Sources tell Bloomberg the Cruise autonomous driving business is preparing to resume testing its robo-taxis with safety drivers in Phoenix. It's also talking with leaders in 20 metro areas about testing its rides. Last October, California suspended Cruise's license to operate after a vehicle hit and dragged a pedestrian in San Francisco. It then suspended all operations nationwide. 4 months ahead of the expected launch of its own robo-taxi, Tesla has settled a case involving a man killed on his way to work in 2018 when his Model X, using Tesla's autopilot driver assistance system, veered off the highway and slammed into a roadside barrier at 71 miles an hour. The driver's family blames a defect in the autopilot system. Tesla said the driver was distracted while playing a video game. Wall Street's indexes lower. Dow losing almost 1%. NASDAQ and S&P 500 each down more than 0.5%. Andrew O'Day, Bloomberg Radio.
Mooresville, how we feeling? Good. Welcome back to Heart Mooresville on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
And we're back with Heart Mooresville. Sorry, I get into the music sometimes.
I'm digging the music, Bill.
I love it. So we're back talking with Fire Marshal Woody. Thank you for joining us today. Before we go any further, I need to point out that you have been immortalized with a doll.
And I'm going to thank Chief Deaton for that. You know, this is a concept. We got our own Fire Marshal Woody doll. And this was something that I wanted to do years ago, but really the timing for me and for the position, it just wasn't the right time. And then, you know, I had the blue, you know, once I got promoted to Fire Marshal, you know, Chief Deaton brought it up. And I was like, you know what? I think you're right. Let's do it.
I'm sure, you know, it helps kind of reach the children to understand the importance of fire safety. And
it's still in the beginning stages. You know, a lot of kids don't know who Fire Marshal Woody is yet. And that's due to the growth and manpower and trying to get that information out there to them. It can be a challenge.
Well, I think that's pretty cool. And that's not all. There's also stickers.
Yeah. Yeah, I told him I was going to work on bobbleheads next.
I would definitely get a bobblehead.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. We got merch.
Yep, that's right.
Fire Marshal Woody's got merch. Well,
it's free too.
Yeah, free merch. That's the best.
So if you want to fire Marshal Woody doll, give our office a call.
Contact Jay Workman at no.
Yep.
But seriously, it is obviously an important role for the town of Mooresville. So for those that don't know, tell us a little bit about what are the responsibilities of being the fire marshal.
So my position is a little bit different from what my other employees under me have to do on a day-to-day basis. So basically, at the end of the day, I'm a supervisor. I just kind of oversee everything. But my typical day is when I come in, emails, you wouldn't believe the emails that I get. But dealing with contractors, I still have to deal with contractors and developers to be able to work through projects and developments, to be able to get them passed through our technical review committee, and to get prepared to go to the Board of Commissioners to be heard and reviewed and voted on. So we're looking at a lot of plans in conjunction with, my deputy fire marshal. That's all he does. So we're kind of side by side, and we're constantly looking at plans. I looked at 6 or 7 yesterday with him because it was something that sparked my interest, that we really needed to pay a close attention to, because there may be some issues, utility issues and stuff. But most of the other guys, their typical day is they come in, do the same thing. They check their emails, they get their inspection list that they're responsible for. But our next other individual is Kevin Obie, Assistant Fire Marshal Kevin Obie. He is responsible for all of our construction projects. So he's basically a project manager.
Gotcha.
So once Deputy Fire Marshal Sickles reviews and approves the plans, then it automatically goes into his queue. So soon as they break ground or have that construction meeting, Kevin takes over from there.
What about like fire investigations? Is that your team?
Yeah, so we're all are tasked with the responsibility of fire investigations. So ironically, we've had 4 or 5 in the last 7, 8 days.
Oh, wow.
And not every fire gets investigated.
Mm-hmm.
Just when something don't look right, a lot of times you can tell when a fire's accidental. And then there's other times it's like, I don't know. And then there's other times like, oh, this didn't happen.
Not an accident.
So, and we had one of those, over the weekend, and we're actively investigating that one. And hopefully by the end of the day, I'll have a lot more answers I could be able to disclose to the community. But we'll try to push something out hopefully this week and our information on that.
Yeah.
But the other guys typically, do inspections, and we're trying to focus on restaurant inspections right now. We've had, overall residential home fires, the leading cause of home fires is cooking.
Right.
Cooking related fires.
Sure.
Last Saturday we had we were dispatched to 3 structure fires almost back to back to back.
Oh, wow.
In
one day.
And all 3 of those, there was a fire. Only one of them was significant enough that it really caused some serious damage to a home. Others were extinguished rather quickly.
Right.
We also work with insurance investigators, other fire investigators, state fire marshal's office, especially on fire investigations, because that deals with a lot of insurance money coming out.
Right.
So we have to make sure it's right the first time, because we only get one crack at it.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. And one of the things that you all do that, people may not know is that that relates to Parks and Recreation is assisting with special events.
Yep.
So we have had the opportunity to work closely with you and your team with planning our signature festivals, the larger events, even smaller events, anywhere where there's more than 1,000 people, I'd say, is when you really start getting into like the crowd control measures and things like that. So your team has been so helpful with us making sure that, we're keeping space available for an emergency lane for fire to get through, inspecting large tents and inflatables, things like that.
It can be, it's really not that bad. It's just, a lot of times we like to tell ourselves, if we prepare for the worst, we'll be ready.
Yeah.
no matter how big or how small. And, when you start having large events, especially with 1,000 or more, then you see what we see on the news, with everything that's going on across the country and the world. It makes you really second guess a lot of this stuff. And that's what we're here for, to try to,
Sure.
if something bad were to happen, how would we be able to handle it and what we need to do
Right.
and all that. So there's a lot of pregame going on when it
Yeah.
comes to events.
Yeah. Obviously, Mooresville Police Department and then Mooresville Fire and Rescue have been such an asset to really have our team train our team to think about, an emergency action plan and, what happens if this goes wrong. And, these things, these events are very important to community engagement and, building that quality of life and creating social impact or social capital, building social capital for our area. But also it can be scary to think about it when you have a lot of people in one space, it just raises that risk and potential of things to happen.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be a fire marshal if I don't mention this. When you go to these large events, always identify your exits.
Right.
Right.
And where you need to go in event of an emergency. Most commonly, and this is kind of ironic, we just, I don't want to say celebrated because it's really not nothing to celebrate, but we just had the anniversary of the Station nightclub fire a week or so ago. And, all these people, come in, they're so used to coming in the same door and they want to try to leave out the same door.
Right.
When there was 2-3 other exits available and not a single soul went to any of them.
Wow.
And that could have saved countless lives.
Yeah,
if
that was a tragic.
That
was a tragic.
Yeah.
That was a tragic event. One of the things that I like, which I like about fire and police in Mooresville is, and Christine talks about, having that emergency action plan and the planning that goes into it, is it's pretty transparent to the average person when you're downtown that you guys are even there, right?
Yeah.
But all of the things that have gone into the planning ensure that the community is safe should something happen. And you guys,
I mean, it is. To sit down and think about it, it's like, okay, if this happens, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, if this happens, this is going to happen. And the coordination between the police department and our office and EMS and the town, is amazing. We're very fortunate to have some proactive people to support us and to ensure that the community's safe at these events. And we hope for it to continue to be that way. Especially, with the fireworks stuff. We've had a couple of different fireworks events.
Yes,
and
we have.
That was celebrating Mooresville's 150-year anniversary. We done a nice, pretty awesome fireworks show down here at Lane Tree at the Lake, which was coordinated perfectly, in my opinion.
You all did an amazing job with that.
So there's a lot of good stuff.
I definitely have, my eyes have been opened just the last couple years as Mooresville has began to do larger events that, require more of that emergency planning. It's mind blowing just what the planning, the emergency planning that goes into that and how well, those two, the police and fire work together, and really come out and support that. So we're very grateful that we have that.
And, you asked earlier, what is my typical day? This is typically what I deal with. If y'all need something, you come to me and I will help you work on these projects and stuff. So
yeah.
Well, one of the things that you guys are heavily involved in is a community favorite called Camp Blaze, and we're going to talk about that when we get back from break here on I Heart Mooresville on WSIC.
Stay in the know with all things Mooresville. I Heart Mooresville continues next on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Well, the rest of our week is a bit unsettled in the weather department with a couple opportunities for rain. We'll see a partly cloudy to mostly cloudy sky as we work our way through our Tuesday. I would carry along the umbrella just in case. A scattered shower possible really at any point throughout the day, especially in the morning and through the better part of the afternoon. Temperatures are still relatively warm in the low 70s. We'll bring back another chance for scattered showers again by Wednesday. And that's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Listen for this sound. During Good Morning LKN and Home Ad, April 15th through 19th, for your chance to win a pair of tickets to Merlefest. Be caller 3 when you hear this sound. And call in for your chance to win tickets to Merlefest.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. This Friday, come enjoy Birkdale Village's weekly Live Under the Oaks concert series. Musician Joseph Gallo delivers catchy tunes, high vocals, and a driving rhythm to sing and dance along. Bring your lawn chairs and enjoy all Birkdale Village has to offer. Music powered by Waves Entertainment begins at 6 p.m. The Kane Center for the Arts presents music, singing, laughs, and dogs. Thursday, see singer and guitarist Joni Shaw Taylor performing. Doors open at 7 p.m. and the show begins at 8 p.m. Friday, 80s music icon John Oates is in concert. Doors open at 7 p.m. with the show beginning at 8 p.m. On Saturday, comedian Jeff Allen delivers laughs twice with shows at 4 p.m. and then again at 8 p.m. Saturday, April 20th, we'll see the Stunt Dog Experience come to Cornelius. This cast of performers and stunt dogs will delight audiences of all ages with high-energy excitement from beginning to end. You will witness some of the most incredible stunts and behaviors ever performed by dogs. The experience has amazing tricks, big air stunts, frisbee dogs, athletic feats, and is the most entertaining show of its kind. For more information on these shows and many other programs, visit canearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Merlefest is back April 25th through 28th at Wilkes Community College, featuring nearly 100 performers, including Old Crow Medicine Show, Sam Bush, Turnpike Troubadours, the Teskey Brothers, Nickel Creek, and more. Tickets and information at merlefest.org. Listen every morning to Good Morning LKN and follow WSIC News on Instagram for your chance to win tickets. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
All things Mooresville to keep you in the Noseville. Join in the conversation by calling 844-STUDIO-4. Now, back to the show.
I gotta say, I'm digging this beach vibe music we got going on
It's very
today.
like Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. Oh, Christine's gonna dance. Watch out. Well, we are here talking with Fire Marshal Woody, and it's been an enlightening conversation. One of the things I wanted to mention very quickly was we had talked during the break at the festivals that we have downtown, and those require a lot of planning, and they also require sometimes lane closures and things that maybe the community might find slightly annoying, but at the end of the day, it's all done with the primary goal of ensuring the safety of the community and the fact that the fire can get in and out, have egress, that the police can do the same. And certainly in an emergency, and if you're in that emergency, you're going to appreciate all the planning that went into that. So
you sure will. You don't think about it until you do need it.
We appreciate that. One of the things that you are involved heavily in, which is happening very quickly, and just sign-ups happened this week, is Camp Blaze. It's kind of a community favorite. And I will say I know it's a community favorite because we are the ones that set up the registration, Parks and Recreation team. And Camp Blaze sold out in 4 minutes.
Wow.
And it
pretty impressive.
Has a long waiting list. So for those who don't know, talk to us about what is Camp Blaze and what can those who are actively registered now anticipate when they go.
So Camp Blaze is a fire department sponsored event that basically brings kids in from a certain age up to a certain age and discusses all the different variety of safety topics, all the way from, general fire safety, water safety, bicycle safety, you name it, man.
Wow.
There's a whole list of stuff. And sometimes they change it up, and just to make sure that they understand, if they're going to go swimming, swim with a buddy, make sure you got your life jackets on, make sure if you're riding a bicycle, you got your helmet on. And there's so many other topics. I mean, good Lord.
Wow.
PD even has a a section in there where they can do, safety topics with them as well. And then the second day is fun day where they get to do all kinds of events. They can go through a mini agility test to just kind of see what it's like to go through as a fireman trying to get on the fire department, to water relay sports or activities. We got dunk booths.
I wish I had that when I was a kid. I want to go to Camp Plays.
And then, of course, the fan favorite is probably the bounce house. We've got a huge bounce house that the kids just love, and it's big.
I would
Did you
assume-
inspect it?
Oh, it is so big.
Pretty
I
cool.
did it. I do inspect it.
I would assume that another fan favorite is the fire hoses and the water.
Oh yeah, they get to.
You know.
Yeah, anytime that kids can get wet,
Yeah.
and jump around and have a good time, it's a great day for them.
Yeah, and if you just kind of some background, as I said, it's sold out for this year, but it typically happens in June. This year, it's June 12th and 13th at the Mooresville Fire Training Center, and as you mentioned, it's a 2-day event. Ages 5 to 10.
Yep.
And so mark your calendars for next year. This extremely popular event is a yearly occurrence, and I'm quite sure that'll be back next year.
It will. I don't see it going away.
So let's talk about some of the other things going on, and I want to give a shout out to my marketing team back at the office. Karina, if you're listening, thank you for keeping me up to date on all the deets of what's happening in our world, because I get kind of sidetracked with a lot of other things, and she has her pulse on everything that's going on in Parks and Recreation, so I appreciate her. So what do we have going on? Well, let's see. We have summer camp, specialty camps. Registration is now open for our recreation specialty camps and swim lessons, which are very popular. Obviously, the trivia question of the day we'll get to in a moment, but it relates to water adventures. And so, as I mentioned, swim lessons are part of this registration. So visit mooresvillerecreation.org to learn more about that. And something we're proud of, we are currently nominated in 3 different categories for the Lake Norman Current Awards for Lake Norman's Best. And they are Best Live Music. Big shout out to Christine and her team as she heads that division. So Mooresville, yes, Mooresville Arts and Events is nominated for Best Live Music. Christine also is in charge of the Charles Mack Citizen Center, and she is up for the Best Event Venue. Wow, you're just all over that.
Killing it over here.
No competition. No competition.
And then our friend Luke out at the Mooresville Golf Club is nominated for Best Public Golf Course.
Woo!
Yes. Again, so big shout out to Luke and his team for an amazing facility. So please vote for us by going to surveymonkey.com/r/Lake Norman Best. And we are questions 12, 15, and 26. So please vote for us. I mentioned the Mooresville Golf Club. The Golf Club PGA Junior Golf League is coming. Preliminary qualifying and skill challenges will be held on Saturday, April 13th from 1 to 3. And you can RSVP for this amazing event, as I mentioned, to Luke Stemke. And his email address is lstemke, LSTEIMKE, at mooresvillenc.gov. And to try out for this, juniors must have their own clubs, and they must also have participated in a Mooresville Golf Club jam session within the last 2 years. So those are the criteria. And then I mentioned earlier, National Gardening Day is coming up. And the Youth Gardening Club meets the first Monday of the month from 4:30 to 5:30. So again, a lot of great things happening in our world. And again, I appreciate Karina keeping me up to date on all of these things. So what's happening in your world, Christine?
Well, there are some exciting upcoming events happening around town. The first one I want to mention is an author event happening at the Mooresville Public Library. Robert Beatty, it's actually the author of Seraphina and the Black Cloak, one of the children's books. He's going to be at the West Branch Library on April 27th at 11 a.m. Pretty cool that, an author of that caliber will be coming to Mooresville. So he's actually going to be discussing his journey to becoming an author, getting published, and what inspired him to write the Seraphina series. Also, I want a quick mention for Always Loretta. I think there are like 2 tickets left. We are almost sold out, but that's this Saturday, April 13th at the Jovi Knox Auditorium. It's going to be a great show. It is Loretta Lynn's original band, the Coal Miners, now fronted by Emily Portman. So great show. Get those last few tickets if you can. Ourtownstage.com. And then, of course, the Spring Mosaic Community Festival on April 13th at Liberty Park from 12 to 5. That's going to be a great event to maybe try something new and a little different in Mooresville.
Yeah, and just an FYI on that, the basketball court will be closed that
Yes.
day due to that festival. So if you enjoy the basketball courts at Liberty Park, please be aware that this Saturday they will be unavailable.
Yes. But come and maybe try something different.
Try something new at the park. Absolutely.
Also want to mention one of our hotel partners, the Hilton Garden Inn in Mooresville, will be having their 2nd annual Spring Fashion Sip, Shop, and Strut on April 18th. Sounds
you
like
joining
a fun
that,
time.
Christine?
Oh, I love to strut.
I know.
I'll be
So-
strutting on down to the Hilton Garden Inn. But it's free admission, open to the public, and there will also be a raffle that proceeds benefit the Christian Mission. And then, of course, the rescheduled Mooresville Day Festival, April 27th, downtown Mooresville, Broad and Main Street. It's going to be epic. It's our 2nd annual. We will have rides. We will have inflatables. We will have train rides. We will have
And they will all be safe thanks to Fire Marshal
That's
Woody.
right.
Right.
We will
We'll
have-
actually be there bright and early.
Yes, we'll all be out there bright and early with safe rides for everyone. So please come out. It's 12 to 4. It really is going to be an amazing celebration. So we hope you'll join us. And then right after that, Rock the Park kicks off on May 3rd. We have a great lineup for our Rock the Park series at Liberty Park. May 3rd, we're kicking off with the Cat 5 Band, beach music. So we're going to have some shaggers out there dancing. We always do. And then followed up in June, we're going to have Greggy and the Jets Elton John tribute, my personal favorite. So it really is a great series. You can see the whole lineup at ourtownstage.com. And then I think that's about it for now. I'll save the rest for later.
All right. Well, as we close out this show, I did want to do the trivia of the day. It's
Ooh,
Trivia
I love
Tuesday.
Trivia Tuesday.
Trivia Tuesday. So, there we go. Can't do this without music. So, Mooresville Parks and Rec operates 2 of these water-based assets. What are these water-based assets? Fire Marshal Woody, do you know?
I know a swimming pool.
And then we have an interactive fountain.
We have 2 splash pads.
Splash pads.
Yes.
Interactive fountain splash
Interactive fountain
pads.
splash pads. These are very popular, and they open on Labor Day and go all the way to Memorial Day. So that won't be too far in the distance for these very popular water-based features. One at Liberty Park and one at Hope Park.
That's right. But Fire Marshal Woody is correct. We do have 2 swimming pools.
Massive, big one at the War Memorial.
And then we have an indoor pool that no one knows about.
That's right.
At the Charles Mack Citizen Center.
This is true. So, well, we want to thank Fire Marshal Woody for his time. I know he's extremely busy, and we appreciate all that you do to keep our citizens safe and to keep us on track. And Christine and her team, I know appreciate you.
I have to keep my eye on her, though.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
we will certainly look forward to having you back in a future episode when we talk about maybe some safety issues
Absolutely.
around. I
Well,
think
I appreciate you having me.
And Christine, as I said, you're on your own for the next couple of weeks, so I appreciate you, and I appreciate everybody listening here on iHeart Mooresville, WSIC. Have a great week.